Hello and welcome everyone in another episode of Researchers Celebrity. Today we have with us Vanshikha Gupta, who is the final year PhD student. And a brief introduction of Vanshikha. She has done her bachelor's in biotechnology honors from ITM University Gwalior and got a gold medal there. Because of which, then she pursued masters in biotechnology in Georgia University as a DST-INSPIRE fellow also. And currently, she is doing PhD and writing her thesis as a DST-INSPIRE fellow at DRDE Gwalior lab of DRDO. With this brief introduction, I'll say thank you and welcome Vanshika at Researcher Celebrity.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind introduction. And I'm really glad that I'm here today. And I really appreciate this opportunity which is being given by you to share my research experiences with everyone. And I'm looking forward to contribute meaningfully to this discussion being held today with you.
Absolutely, Vanshika. We start our conversations like how and when you decided that you want to become a researcher.
Okay. My research journey didn't start with the lab. It actually started with a classroom. In our school, we were few of our students were selected when I was in 11th standard. So there was an Inspire program which was being conducted at MIT University, and our school has selected few of us to be the part of that program. So for the very first time, it was like from the textbook to the real world of science. I could see like how the scientific things are going on, what are the research labs, what scientists are, how they are working, and people from all over India came to that program, 5 day. There was a hands-on program, and I still remember that they had made us to develop the fingerprints on the paper, how the forensics work, and it was all very much fascinating for an 11th standard girl from the textbook to the really, okay, this is the fingerprint. And we had also made the comet out of mud and dry ice. The first time I touched the dry ice for the first time. So, and we had launched the rocket in the field, and it was very fascinating experience. And on the last day of that workshop, we had a opportunity to visit the RD Gwalior. As a school students, we were supposed to go to the research lab, and there I have seen like how the scientists are working. Oh, so much big instruments they are dealing with, and the kind of microorganisms they have shown. They have also shown us there is a vector division in our lab. So they have shown us that how the mosquitoes, different breeds of mosquitoes are grown, and how the anti-repellent mosquitoes creams and sprays are being prepared, how the formulation is being done. All that was very much fascinating. And I think since then the spark was there in my mind, like I also need to be there. Sometime I will be also there. So that's how my
So,
research.
so starting from school days, you knew that you want to pursue a PhD in DRD. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was in my mind like a doctor should. I need to add a doctor in my suffix of my name, prefix of my name. So if I could do something like this, like something interesting, which will also be like passionating and not so boring work, and new things can be discovered. So I try to choose that part.
Absolutely. So when you mentioned that even in your school days, when you got introduced to this program, based on your experience, if you can tell our audience that how the experience was and what was the motivating factor that early on your school ages, and then how the path you took starting from your bachelor's to master's and here.
I could say like in the school we were supposed to do that small experiments which are the part of our curriculum only. So since then science was very much fascinating for me. Like science subject itself was a very fascinating subject for me, and from being from like my family is also from the science background only, so we talk about the microorganisms and bacteria and the kind of diseases and all. So I have grown up with listening to those things. So I know the things, but the actual part, like how these things work, how the medicines are being formulated, this all comes under biotechnology, or we can say the technology behind the science. So those things were very much interesting, and I don't like really find my PhD as a burden. I enjoy doing my work. So the only message from my side is, like, if you really enjoy that work, you can do it like for the whole life. You can do that work. You can sit in front of a laminar hood and do some cultures and look for the microorganisms and do the analysis and blah blah blah. You can do it. But if you are not at all interested and you are finding it like a burden, or you are doing just for the sake of doing, like I don't had any other option, that's why I had chosen this path, then it will be quite difficult, like to motivate yourself on the daily basis. Like, yes, I have to do it. I need to do it. This is the only thing. So,
Not many researchers can actually see that they love what they are doing, and especially at the end of the PhD when you are writing and compiling everything, what all the wonderful experiments and in knowledge you have gained through your PhD. So let's start from the starting. After your masters, you did a
mhm.
couple of like internship or research fellowships like JRF8, BITS Pilani in Hyderabad campus, and then
Yes, yes.
you also got some project training at BARC Mumbai. So based
Mhm.
on those experiences, like there was a like a difference between your masters and when you joined PhD as a formal student. So what was
Okay.
happening during this time, and then how that helped you to made up your mind 100% that okay, now I want to do a PhD.
Uh, in from the graduations and post graduation, okay, lab work was there. We had a good amount, like 2 to 3 hours we used to spend in our labs and do the experiments, which is good. But because of the lack of resources, we students were divided into the groups and were supposed to see the experiments rather than performing it. This is there, like not each and every one of us could handle those things. Firstly, then for that purpose only the dissertation programs are being designed, I guess, like so that we students can actually do the gel electrophoresis rather than seeing it in the group. So in the graduation also, I had an opportunity to work at Food and Drugs Administration, which is in Bhopal. So where we have tested the different kind of milk samples and the milk related products to see whether they are being adulterated or not. And that little experiences of handling the pipette myself and doing those all things, like it was like, okay, I am the boss, I can do it, I can design my experiments, I can give the suggestions, so this is the result which I got it. So that little joy feeling has only motivated me to carry on to this path. And then after my post graduation, I got the opportunity to work at DRC Mumbai, where we were working on the lung cancer cell lines. So it was a great opportunity to work at that place, the eminent scientists, the kind of environment, and the lab. Like even if I, in day to day, I'll speaking about BRC. If I'll close my eyes, the whole lab is in front of me. So that was a very good experience, and those people have trained me actually. Like the scientist G was coming into my our lab and they were training us, the small students of MSc, they were training us to do the cell culture. So from there, I got the enthusiasm like, okay, this is the thing I need to do in my life. This is the most uh, happiest moment in my life, that okay, someone is coming from all the way from his cabin just to teach me. Okay, one day I will also do the same. and motivate more and more students to pursue science and do good for the society. And
Absolutely.
then after that, I got the opportunity to work at BITS Plani Hyderabad campus, where Dr. Trinan Jama was my supervisor, and there I have worked with colon cancer cell lines. It was a short duration because COVID hit and we were supposed to be in isolation. So uh, it was also a good experience because in that short period also I have explored many new things, many new techniques, and from there we got to know like we need to I have talked to many PhD scholars and keep on asking, Didi, how do you be motivated to do the PhD? What are the pros and cons? Should I go for industry or should I go to PhD? So interacting with people and interacting with the same mindset has also like made me clear my path. Like, no, I need to do my PhD only, then only I'll think. Like after PhD also we had an option of going with academics or with the industry. So by that time I had a good wholesome amount of time to rethink what next I need to do. Uh,
So when you talk to
uh,
every all of your seniors and peers, based on their experience, they shared their input. And when you
yes.
decided that okay, now I am ready, I want to do PhD. So let's start from the first step. A, why you chose DRDE Gwalior, and B, what were the things which you were like, okay, now I'm determined to accomplish or to first register for PhD.
So, DRG Gwalior was, I think, in my destiny because when I joined BITS, then also the call letter from their interview call letter was there. But since I had previously joined the project, I don't want to like uh, discontinue that project. So I missed that opportunity for one time. Then again, after 6 months, there was an interview call, and it was a COVID time at that moment. And one factor is like my hometown is in Gwalior only, and my parents were like the situation at that moment was very critical. I guess that it is a COVID, everyone is being isolated, they are being far apart, no one knows what will happen next, and blah blah. So they so that moment like it kind of emotional also, but it was like the first place where I learned what science is coming towards me and offering me like please work over here and give like again for the second time they are calling me for the interview. So I appeared for the interview and then got selected from the and I'm availing the DST-INSPIRE fellowship over there. But then the labs were allotted. Everyone was like from all over part of the India. Like 17 to 18 students were selected, both in chemical sciences and life sciences. And we all like gel up with each other. We were sitting in the library and having like sharing all the experiences. And at that moment also we got the time to decide like whether this place is good for me or not. So I find it like yes, the kind of work, the orientation program which is being carried. So I know the kind of labs, the work they are doing. They are working for the society. And one thing I think which is more important for a researcher is like do something which will be carried forwarded. Not just for the sake of doing the practical or not just for the sake of writing your thesis or getting some awards or something like this. You should do something which is better for the society. And this institute is working very hard for our society. So giving my little contribution through my PhD work, I thought like this will be a great thing. And although my journey was like from all the way from cancer research, when the project was given or when the lab was allotted in DRD, we were given the project on the high performance biodigesters for the anaerobic biodegradation of the human fecal matter. So as we all know that DRD is being actively working for the society, they had previously made the bio toilets for the railways, which are being installed in the Indian railways. And also in the high altitude in the Lakshadweep, there is a very much problem of degrading the fecal matter. So there also we had some projects going on. So this project was for the household purposes, like how we can uh, convert or how we can just shift towards a more sustainable method for the degradation of the human fecal matter. So this all was all fascinating again. Like it is a real practically I can see my like my experiments could be done on the field basis. That's the more fascinating thing. We had a great field. We have a number of biodigesters installed connected to the real toilets, and we are having the big setups, big plans, and we are working all together. Like, okay, now what's the result? We are doing this changes, or the model is being changed. Now, what is the result? So, if we are seeing the experiments turning into a reality, it is more satisfying for us.
So true. And when we talk about sustainability, but now coming from you mentioned when you were in undergrads, there were lack of resources and you were able to see the experiments, but doing by your own hand
Yes,
in your dissertation and then other various research positions, you had this different feeling that okay, now this is what I enjoy. I can be in front of
yes,
laminar airflow as much as I want, and you enjoy that. So how did that
yes,
go? So some of these things, like when you chose DRDE for your PhD, which we all know that can either be 4, 5, 6, 7 years depending on how the research goes. So what were
yes.
the key factors when you were deciding that okay, you are going to do your PhD at DRDE, and what you can share
Okay.
to other next generation of researchers, see, who are just still in dilemma that where should they join PhD? So what you can suggest?
Okay. So my only suggestion is like choosing a DRD. I would say like the thematic areas they are working on is very much interesting. Like no other labs will do it. Firstly, like they are being more focused on the defense part or the for the whole society part. Like for the cancer research, we have number of institutes for for their study. For the virology part, also we have so many institutes. But particularly, okay, virology also, but for the defense purpose, like how the soldiers at the border can be protected, how the rapid detection test kits can be prepared, how the point of care treatment can be given. This all thing was very much different from the other labs. Also, when we talk about the resources, we are having a very good facility and the number of all kind of instruments we are having. So that one should also look like when we are joining a lab, are we having those instruments and the chemicals, or your PI is ready to willing to like purchase or procure that instruments which are required for your research. You should not like be dependent on the basic techniques because we are advancing. So we should look for advancements in our lab also, like doing the work in 1 hour and doing the work in 10 minutes. It is a great difference when we are doing our research. So this all points were I have seen, like my lab was very much fully established, and all the and we were having a plan like how we will be working on, like how this project will go. We all have a plan already prepared, like in the 1 year we will be doing this, second year we will be doing this, third year target, fourth year target. So if the target is fixed, it is like easy to move. But if you we as a student are very much clueless like what we will be doing in our PhDs. But it all depends on our PIs, whether they are clear about their research product, what they have framed for us, whether they know what all techniques are being used and what all advancements are being going on. Unless and until we as an individual can't do. All we can do is follow his instructions and do our best. Like, okay, we need to work 10 hours in the lab, we are willing to do. But what kind of work we will do in those 10 hours will totally depend on whether your work is being planned in a better way or not. So,
Absolutely. And I
just
think these are very important ones. Yes.
yes, yes. So before joining any lab, just interact with your PI and like try to find whether he or she is enthusiastic equally as we students are to carry forward that project or not.
Absolutely.
So
And
that
I
is
think
more important.
these are the points which I'll say that to all uh, the researchers who are considering different labs and finally make have to decide among those. So the points which Vanshika mentioned, if you have a clear conversation with your PI about the roadmap of your PhD, if it is ready, and then what
Yes,
are the thematic areas in those labs which you can correlate with? Because if you can make a personal connect, if you enjoy what they are doing, and if you're passionate about it, that is the driving force which will take you through this entire journey. And another important part, which is more important, as Vanshika mentioned, is the infrastructure. Do you have everything what is required there? Or if not, then are they collaborated already?
yes.
Or your supervisor is ready to make new collaborations so that they can successfully achieve the a your PhD thesis title, like all those aims and objectives. B, the research question for a broader area, because your thesis is just a piece for a bigger project. As Vanshika mentioned, if it is society oriented, it is not just it is done in 3 years. It can be some of the products come actually very early. And then one of the most important parts, which now we will discuss, about the lab environment. You mentioned that you had chance to interact and with your PI, with your peers. How, based on your experience, how crucial is the lab environment?
So yes, lab environment is very much like how your seniors are, how is your PI's track record. First and the most important thing which one should look like what is the track record of your supervisor, like whether it is very much evident, sir. Some of them, like I would just add to it, like not all teachers can be a good teacher, not all student can be a good student. So no, so it is our duty. If we are thinking like we are much more motivated to do the PhD, we should find someone who is equally motivated to make us do the work. So
Absolutely.
that is the best part. Like you can interact with while interacting with the scientist, you get to know like okay, he's interested or not, or he is busy with some of the official works or writing another project before completing this one. So with time and with interacting with the seniors, not only seniors, with all other colleagues in your sister labs, we can get to know like within 2 to 3 months one can know whether this is right place or not. So if by any time you are finding no, this is not a good place, I think that things will be delayed by the end of my PhD journey. It is better to look for different like new opportunity rather than wasting your time and then after 5 years or 6 years then criticizing, oh I have done the mistake and all. So that should not be there. So interacting with the scientists and giving time, even if he is not having time, ask for the time. Like I need to ask her. I'm more and more interested in knowing how you have thought of this project. What were the key points you were thinking while designing this project? How we together can contribute, and what are the next future things we should like carry forward in our from this. Okay, this part will be done by me. What next? What my juniors will do, like this.
That is very good. Very thinking it through, like what has been done, how it will be carried forward to. And I think the 2 points which are more important, and I can summarize your that the approachability and the open mindedness of your PhD supervisor plays a crucial role in making up that okay, which labs you should join. We talked about all the good parts of research till now, Vanshika. Now I want to know your thoughts that during this entire tenure of your PhD, and now you're writing the thesis, so that means most of it is done. It's now the submission
Yes,
and the award. Have you
yes.
ever thought of quitting your PhD?
Uh, Honestly speaking, yes. During the 5 year journey, yes. It's not only me, it's the every researcher at some point will think like, okay, I don't want to do this. I'll think something else out of it. But that is, uh, if that thought prevails for a longer time, means that something big has happened and that's an issue of concern. But if it is like, okay, supervisor is not taking care of my results and all this, something small things, or I'm not getting the chemical on time, and not my results or my experiments are not working good, and then these thoughts are coming, it will be like, okay, go with the flow. Time will take care of it. Sometimes it will take some time, like to reprocess the things. But if the things are doable, then that negative thought will go, and ultimately the positive vibes will come. Here comes the, again, I would say, the lab environment, whether we are having someone to share with. It is very much important, whether it is our senior, whether it is our junior, or whether it's our colleagues or the other PIs also. Some students might be comfortable with other PI also, like sharing these things with other PI. So it is very much important to have someone during your journey. So whether it is like going to the canteen, having cup of tea and frustrating, and then also having like, today this happened in our lab, then the same person will be, okay, chill, this thing will happen. It has happened to me also one week before, and these are the solutions. Don't be worried about it. It will be done. So having the good company around you is very much important. And I being fortunate enough to living with my parents, so it is like an add-on advantage for me. Like after lab, I have my family, and if not lab people, my family will definitely going to understand what all situations are going on. So if the students are living far away from their family, please make a call, please make a video call and share your things with the one you are comfortable with. Like sharing will make the things easy. We are not experienced, might be the other person is more experienced than us, so they will give us a suggestion or the better way how to react and how to deal with this situation. And coming on to the uh, like difficult parts in the lab, not all people are good, honestly speaking. So there are a mixture of people. Like some of them are not ready to collaborate with you, will not share your work, will not give you the values, will not give you the chemicals, will not allow you to use their instruments. It will be like, okay, I am doing it. It is another 1 week time. So this all thing will happen, and this is why the PhD is called a PhD journey and not a degree. Degree is easy to get, but journey we need to like live. We need to go through all the ups and downs, and we need to again motivate ourselves. Like, okay, daily we need to motivate ourselves. Yes, we need to go. We need to work. This is the work plan. These are the experiments. I will again do it. I will rethink what all mistakes I have done. Okay, this person is not sharing the work with me. It's okay. It's fine. We are having a whole lot of internet with us. We will we will study more literature. We will go through the literature. We will look for the alternative. If this instrument is not available, we can talk to our PI, like, okay, we can find where are the facilities I can do, where I can do that same kind of analysis. The instrument is available, or we are having the MOUs with different universities. So there are alternatives, but yeah, at that moment we can get panicked. But think, just relax, think, note down your things, get the help of people, and the things will be sorted.
Absolutely. I think this is very important that, as you mentioned, from quitting to winning or accomplishing those research aims and objectives, one thing which is most important is your support system. Your support
Yes,
system, as Vanshika mentioned, can be your peer mentors within the lab, can be your parents, can be your friends, anyone who is there to listen to you and then give their advice. With that is what it takes from traveling this quitting to accomplishing, which is what makes you as which only not only develops you as a researcher but also as a person. My PhD supervisor, Dr. Tiadak, always called this as that PhD is a training which transforms not only your name but also you as a person. And
this is
Vanshika brought up one important point that there are people in labs which are not easy to handle, not open for collaborations, they are just doing their job. But again, this is another part of your PhD training, because when you are going out in the world working anywhere, either it is corporate, academic, industry, or even within the entrepreneurship, you will always find these people. So if you get a good training during your PhD, your success rates in all those roles are gonna high, like logarithmically. And just because you have experienced that early on and you know how to carve your path, as Vanshika mentioned, if something is not available, either instrument or facility, then you look for the alternative routes. Like, do we have MOU somewhere? Or if not, then as we started this conversation, that if your supervisor is supportive, that okay, we can talk to a different institute, a PI, where you can go and perform your experiments, get the things done. All of these things are important and they are critical to reduce the stress level, which especially the PhD student have. The research initially, as Vanshika started, it was very, all the good part were there, that okay, I now can do my experiments, I enjoy, I can plan. But when the failed experiment comes, the troubleshooting is the most important part, which any PhD student should think of and should be even more keen to learn. Because if everything is working, you might get your PhD really fast. But if you have not learned how to troubleshoot things, then it will put you in tough places in your future. Based on which, I'll ask Vanshika, do you have any incidents or suggestion based on what you can say that if you would not have failed those experiments, you might not have learned it?
okay. Uh, in those experiments, there are many like small mistakes we people do. We people do the blunder mistakes also. Like okay, for when I was doing the cell culture part, I in like accidentally used the different pipette for, like, I was culturing two different cell lines in the same hood, which we were not supposed to do. But initially, I was not knowing like how to handle those cell lines, and I just accidentally mixed those two cell lines. And after that, my supervisor came, and then for the examination, like, okay, show me the confluency of the cells, show me the plate. And he was surprised, okay, what had happened to those cells, the different structures you are seeing. And now you were, I was very much confident, okay sir, I have plated my cell lines. Now we have discussed the whole plan, like this confluency will be there, and we were going to plate it, like all the experiment part was done. So he was just by chance came into the lab and seen the cells, and he was like, okay, you had made a blunder mistake. You need to revive those two cell lines and restart your experiment. Otherwise, it would be a blunder. Like I would have proceeded with those cell lines only unknowingly, because we actually don't know what the correct thing was. So like that.
Absolutely. And yeah, this
We
is where
learned
it
from
comes like,
his mistake. Yeah, then it was my mistake. Then he had told me like, okay, now look for the observations. from the next time you need to look for these things. So if I'm doing a mistake and someone is correcting me, then it is the best part. Like from the next time, I won't repeat that mistake. That is the moral duty of we students. Or
Yes,
even if we are doing the mistake and we got to know, okay, this is happened. So ideally, we should tell at the first end only, okay, this is being done. It will take time, but I will do it. I will redo it and make sure that now the things will be go as per the procedure. So
absolutely. I think owning those mistakes, as you mentioned, is very important, because what we do as students most of the time, we want to
uh,
put it onto someone else and just want to, because if you will not own that mistake, you will probably never learn from it and then will repeat doing that. My supervisor always said that you can make mistakes as many as, just don't repeat them, because if
yes.
you are learning from one, then you
Hmm.
at one day you'll be a fine researcher, and that is what it takes. And now we do talk about credibility, that you are responsible for what you do, and then you earn this uh, reputation worldwide whenever you publish a paper,
Hmm.
either as a first author
Hmm.
or as a corresponding author. People know you by your name, probably not by your face, but they say that, okay, that person has done this, this should be reproducible, and then they start investing their energy and time into it. So if you were not very responsible and trustworthy, you might have only made it your way to publish something, but what you are doing bad to research as a community is, you are responsible for all those losses which are done all around the world, because people thought what you have reported is going to work. So be
Yes.
very respectful of everyone other's time, and also be very trustworthy to yourself, that okay, I know this thing works, I know this thing doesn't work, and only communicate those results.
Yes.
Speaking at the last edge of this conversation, Vanshika, what were your experiences about publications, and you can share with the PhD students?
With the publications, I'm in the writing phase itself. Like my project was more and more connected with each and every, like objectives were interconnected with each other. That's why it took me time to like complete whole of my wet lab, and then we look for the results, like whether they are being teaming up with all the criterias, all the parameters which we have studied. Like my project is on the anaerobic microbial inoculum development. So it is the first phase is itself the developmental strategies we need to think about for the inoculum preparation. Then its characterization, then different kind of experiments we need to do, the kinetic studies and all. Then we need to check it in the biodigester whether it is having a good degradation efficiency or not. From that, we have filtered out some of the best performing inoculums, and then we have gone for the next generation sequencing of it and to study its microbial dynamics. So my objectives were like connected with each other, which took time for me to write a publication paper. But for now, I'm just working on it only. Like we are in a good page of reporting few of the methods and few of the ways in which those inoculums can be prepared, and then the next batch of the students can now further study more and more deeply about it, like what all uh, we can say, like what all optimizations other can be done. And yeah, so with
Nice.
that,
Good luck with your writing, Vanshika. And we'll tell all the early PhD students that if you want to write to Vanshika, you can write to her. If you want STEM for Society to put you in touch with our researcher celebrities, we are there to give you all the support. As again, once quoting, from quitting to accomplishing, if you need support, we are there to support you, connecting with our researcher celebrities, and we are going to announce or launch a mentee mentor program soon, where you can be connected with your mentors and of your choice, and then work with them with their guidance. The only thing which we ask from you is your passion for your research. If you think this is what makes you happy, we are there, happy to help you. With this, we'll say thank you so much, Vanshika, and good luck with
Thank
your submission.
Thank you so much, sir. At last, I just wanted to conclude my talk. Like for the students, like I would like to say that don't let your curiosity lead you. Like let your curiosity lead you. Explore beyond your thinking process, and science is not just only about finding the answers, and it is about asking the right questions. Like if you ask the right questions, you will definitely get the right answers. And to my fellow researchers, I would like to say, like, let's remember why we started. Let's
Nice.
remember why we started, and our work may happen, like, it will take time, but it will happen. In near future, we are going to contribute. Just a little statement also will be a good start for someone. So think
Nice.
about that and do your work passionately, stay motivated, and believe in yourself.
Absolutely. That was a great conclusion, Vanshika. Thank you so much. For all the audience,
Thank
stay
you.
tuned for another episode of Researcher Celebrity. See you then.